Mary Tower. Darkness. The second day. The world has emptied. Town M has lost itself in non-existence of darkness. Half closed eyes, I'm walking through the field. Where am I going? Who am I now? Where are the light and the aim? Where is the sun? I open my eyes, but nothing changes. Darkness abduces me silently and forces to get craggy, curdle, turns into a dot, a full point, and disappear into invisibly unbeknownst. I open my eyes widely and try to make out at least anything, but everything is in vain. There is nothing here. Or maybe something still is. After all, I exist. So, why somebody else couldn't be? Someone else like me? Or not like me? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know where I'm going now. Have I known before? Hardly ever. Only now, with my eyes widely closed, I'm following my way consciously. I'm here, and I am. I'm feeling breath of each my pore. I'm not a reflection of a bus passing by anymore. I'm a human being. Someone's voice said that I need to go ahead, that somewhere out of hell there will certainly be light. And I have been walking and walking. It was so cold, wet and damp. I definitely smelt a strange reek thereabouts, breathing of holiness and death. I felt myself creepy, but how could I escape, and where? Nowhere. You can't elope from yourself. A bright flash of lightning pierced the darkness for an instant, like an arrow. It was heard a heart-breaking explosion. It was smelled blood. I stood there glued to the spot. The earth had shaken and started crying. I crouched to it, trying to console. I was kissing its scars and fresh injuries, but it was shaking more and more. After some time, it broke out in loud, inhuman, ecumenical sobbing. It was terribly. I thought that I wouldn't survive that pain. It seemed like from deep inside the earth, mothers' shouts of despair about their killed soldiers were heard, side by side with innocent, embarrassed children's teardrops and bitter tears of old people. And deep, inexpressible, unbearable, heard just in one single question, which was said with parched from pain and suffering's lips. Why? "Don't beat yourself up," said a known voice behind my back. freezing cold was breezed from that entity staying at the back of me. A stranger was radiating minus 195.8 degrees centigrade and was friable like good balanced humus, which has been processed by hundreds of thousands of worms. I haven't seen but known him. "Don't beat yourself up," he repeated again. "Don't waste your energy for nothing. You will need your energies. Go ahead and don't stop." I was walking through the breathing earth. I was feeling movements under my feet. Something gave me a cue that they were corpses of soldiers had recently been killed in action, recycling in a hurry by invertebrates and other protozoes. What can we do? Everybody has its own work. I was walking and crying silently. Each step was reflected by pain in my heart. There was no way bypassing, by flighting, only through the dear and no-knowing land. I, a man of the earth, couldn't help walking. So I set out. Whose truth our pathway has been paved by? Is somebody's verity ours too? There weren't two soothers, two stones on nearby tops of mountain ranges, joining by a deep canyon. And they started rolling towards each other and ran into the very bottom of it, and split up into thousands of the smallest fragments, and they disappeared, they both. And whose truth is the very bottom paved by now? And who won? And what was left? And I'm walking and hearing the crying, while some people are mocking and sneering at deceased bones, arranging orgies soaked by gloat and feeling of triumphed justice. And other ones are groaning and howling with pain in their souls over an open grave, becoming exhausted from helplessness, despair, and praying God for only the one, for seeing the light of torturers and their sincere repentance. A holy story is too uncrystalline and amorphous in comparison with drab existence, where saintliness is poured over blood, where evil comes from every awareness in the flesh. One has only to step within a pistol shot. I was leaving. I have never hurt anybody by anything. I had been feeding pigeons and wild animals. I had been writing poems and songs. I had been playing the violin. I was of help to others. I had been empathizing with all and everyone. I was suffering for fates of African people, for destinies of all that were abandoned, rejected, offended, injured, deprived. One rainy evening, I knew that I was hated and wanted to kill. Why? because I was not just existed but wanted to have my own opinion, because I didn't have inside of myself any evil, hatred, avarice, and love of gain, because of my humanity, agape and love to others, for my unwillingness to share the world into friends and foes, ins and outs, for my willingness to live in peace, where there is no place for violence and super profit, mad song and dance, in order to please somebody's interests. I'm a patriot, but not a Nazi. Is being a patriot a reason for killing me? Who gave you the right to come to my land and wipe me out only because I'm a man from the earth who loves his planet madly, esteems ancestors, honors his nature, and doesn't afraid to say uncomfortable, unwanted for somebody truth? My justice doesn't murder or harm, but it interferes others to kill and destroy with impunity. Decision was taken by others. Liquidate me together with my truth in order to give a free hand in an issue of legalized harm, murder, violence in the world, which definitely must lose its verifying, where everybody has to turn into a speaking box on thick short legs, smelling with decomposing products of vital functions. So the first sheep has been dashing ahead and leading the whole herd of joyful bighorns, skipping happily and making enthusiastic feral whoops. And there are rocky cliffs, and the first sheep is ready to fall down. And it is falling down one after another, the first, the second, the third, the 10th, the 100th, and everybody is skipping and squealing, and all are continuing running to rocky cliffs and jumping from them, making unreasonable sacrifices. What can I say? Congratulations. It's a pity, but there is nothing in common with heroism. It's just stupidity, bordering with dullness and weakness of brain power. I'm walking through them without regret, but with hurt in my heart. I'm going with stony stare like being sowners. Souls, there are choking people every day. Not such day is fearful, but another in which there will be no one to choke. Has this day already become, or it is just a final run through of the play? What will be expected in that remarkable day, when everything happens truly? The same set and heat, intensity of emotions, and of course full house like it was 2,000 years ago. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the tickets are sold. All seats are booked. The performance begins right now. and I'm sitting in the first row, holding prize ticket in my hands, which I haven't asked for anybody, and I should be glad, but I feel some despair because of impossibility of refusing from this trophy. In desperation, I tried to escape through one of the doors, but every time I come across an accommodating well-wisher with sympathizer sight who is attempting to console me, I don't want to be comforted. Take away this lucky ticket and let me go. But all the tickets have been sold out by Mr. Nobody for free, and therefore it's impossible to return them because there is no one whom it could be given back. Mr. Nobody made a decision about my happiness and what is needed for this. Tonight they are performing the play on the stage, and nothing could be changed. I'm coming back to my seat. Lights have gone out, and the show has started. Audience is delighted. They are in deep ecstasy because of dramatic effects of the plot being acted on the stage. They are applauding and anchoring, but there is nobody for anchoring because they were playing not for anchoring, but for life. And they have lost of overplayed. It was brightly, emotionally, but extremely inhumanly. It was left dog eat dog green and light smell of blood. Audience was frozen. Silence and darkness were pressing more and more. It became unbearably sickeningly. All of them were witnesses of a hideous dance of death, but nobody had enough courage, common sense, and determination to make 3 steps upstairs to the stage and say the only word, "Enough." It is much easier to step aside, stay in the shade, in darkness, and enthusiastically watch the process of blood and soul killing on the bright stage, which is approved by intonation and community. Inaction is not being punished and proved by but action always could be considered ambivalently. Well done. Performance is finished. I open the door, but not meet importunate pressure of a dear well-wisher with sympathetic eyes. There is nobody to comfort me anymore. There is no reason for this. It is done. Instigator has washed his hands and bowed out, allowing sheep to do all dirty work on self-destruction. Where am I now? Whom for? Why? Go. Suddenly I heard a nice voice behind my back, and I had gone, leaving questions in an empty orchestra stalls.